This match is over. He's about to hit him with the big slam.
Again, thanks for your support, and we'll see you at the matches right here, onewrestling.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray for OneWrestling.com, and I am imploring you to please support independent pro wrestling. Buy their shirts here at ProWrestlingTees.com. Again, that's ProWrestlingTees.com, especially our good friend Bin Hamin. You can follow him on Twitter at Bin_Hamin, and check out his brand new shirt, the Bin Lebowski, which is one of the hottest selling items on ProWrestlingTees.com. Again, go to www.ProWrestlingTees.com to support independent pro wrestling and our buddy, Bin Hamin. You know what's funny? Ben has never heard this side of me, right, Ben?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'll go with it.
Oh man, you don't listen to the PW Hustle? Ray is like the worst.
He's been on the PW. You never had me on the PW Hustle with you.
No, you've never been on with me there.
My God, dude. All right.
Yo, Ray is crazy. Ray, yo, if you never heard any of this about Ray, oh man, you're in for a treat.
The Ray I deal with is a straight shooter on the zone.
Oh my man, I am from the hood, brother. I am an animal. But anyway, all right, we're gonna start recording. Here we go, guys. In 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Slam Nation episode number Lucky 13. I didn't hit the Powerball. Anyway, I am the Mark of the Masters, the man with the plan, Big Ray, here to stay to talk some wrestling today. And ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by Fame Black. You can follow him on Twitter at Fame Black. Also, AOKFabe Connor, aka OKFabe. Follow him on Twitter at OKFabe. And we are joined by a very, very, very special guest. He is formerly of OVW, formerly of 2CW. He is the current host of Bin Hamin's Hardcore Happy Hour at WrestleZone.com, and also has one hell of a t-shirt there at ProWrestlingTees.com. We'll get into that a little later on. Ladies and gentlemen, I am introducing to you the hacker, Bin Hamin. Ya Allah, my friend. Say what's up to the fans, Bin.
Yo, Allah, Big Ray. Great to be here on One Wrestling. Fame Black, OKKFabe, looking stupid as usual, morons. Pathetic. I've hacked your system. I've seen what you're looking at on your internets, what your pornographies are, and it's pathetic to me what you're looking at there. Wasting your time with video games.
Okay.
I put that on my business card, actually. It's a long business card, but he's pretty big, actually.
All right, yes. Now listen, it's kind of weird. We have the hacker Hamin on, and apparently now A-Track Brown is missing, Billy Ray Valentine is missing,
right.
and Bill Schuyler is missing.
Too easy.
See? Just don't ask questions. Don't ask questions.
I'm just saying, guys.
Don't.
Tomorrow the ransom notes will arrive in your mailboxes, Infidel. Don't worry about it.
Well, we might pay for Billy Ray Valentine. I don't know if we're gonna pay for a professor. Or...
Yeah, is there any like negotiation?
Oh, right. Can we we need to haggle.
Is this like Price is Right? Can we like?
We don't negotiate. We don't negotiate with infidels.
Well, listen, I mean, again, and also, yes, the professor is also missing. This is the first time, I believe, in 13 episodes here at Big Slam Nation that Billy Ray Valentine and Bill Schuyler are both missing at the same time. Bin?
Yes, well, they're a bit tied up with other business right now, so don't worry about them. They're not being fed. They both needed to go on a diet. They ate way too much at their infidel Christmas and gained about 15 pounds each, so they've got about 4 or 5 days of a crash diet ahead of them. I'm doing them a favor.
Personally, I like this because I think it gives me and OKFabe a chance to shine here, and we're the funniest people on the show anyway. So
Let's not get out
of hand here, Fan Black.
All right, guys, listen, let's get...
Here, check me out now. Ya Allah, Bin Hamin, 2CW, OVW. Yes, here we go. Ben Do a WrestleZone correspondent. Here we are, guys, breaking kayfabe. Okay, kayfabe, let's do it.
Whoa, hold on a second. You're not an Arab terrorist?
When I want to be.
My mind is blown.
I don't know how you flip that switch on and off.
I'm CIA Special Ops Diplomatic Immunity. Nothing can stop me, morons.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let's just jump into wrestling news, ladies and gentlemen. Now, listen, we're gonna headline this show by the top 5 Sting moments. Of course, you guys know that Sting has finally been let into, or I was gonna say let into. He has been inducted into the WWE, or hasn't just technically been inducted yet, but will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this year in Texas. But we're gonna jump off with the first portion of news. Shinske Nakamura, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Shinske Nakamura is stripped of the Intercontinental title in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, a lot of people thought he would actually hold on to that title for a few months before he made the exodus to WWE. Ben, I'm going to jump to you right away, right off the top. Do you know anything? I mean, you know, we talked to Ryan Satin, we talked to all the guys over there at WrestleZone.com. I mean, do you know anything? Have you heard anything about Shinsuke officially coming over to WWE? And why do you think they took the belt off of him now? I mean, is it a Kenny Omega thing? I know Kenny Omega is going to be fighting for the IC title now that it's vacant. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from my guys Kenny Omega and the Bucks, you know, specifically since we left 2CW. All that was kind of business on the horizon. They were alluding to the Elite on some of the stuff they gave me, which seems to be their clique now after they turned on AJ Styles. And as far as what Shinsuke's doing, I've heard he's got to go to NXT maybe to learn WWE style a little bit more. They want to, you know, get him ready along those lines. I hope he does business with Hideo Itami to get him over right away. But I really hope there's no borders for them, whereas if Doc Gallows and Anderson are on SmackDown and NXT, maybe get the titles there. He's doing the NXT thing, and AJ's the lead dog on Raw, and they can all have each other's back. That would be awesome. As far as with one thing that kind of upsets me, if they're going to pull these guys from New Japan and get this Bullet Club thing over, there's a chance to do business on the way out that they missed. IWGP title, they just stripped him of it. They could have done something where he brought it to NXT because it seems to be open borders right now over there. And then Hideo could have taken it from him the first night, flown to Japan, done a press conference, been the big baby face, laid it down with Japanese honor at the feet of New Japan, and then come back again and actually had an open door instead of it looked like, hey, we're just raiding talent because it's the hottest thing on the independent scene.
All right, so I'm going to ask you, okay, Fabe, what's your opinion on what we just heard from Ben? Now, again, Shinsuke Nakamura, stripped of the Intercontinental title. He's been one of the most popular athletes in New Japan Pro Wrestling, possibly one of the most popular athletes in the world if you consider Japan and the United States. I mean, what do you think of what you just heard from Ben?
I kind of agree with them. I think that they missed a possible huge opportunity to do a lot of collaboration with New Japan that, granted, we may not have seen WWE do in the past, but hey, opportunity is an opportunity. It's honestly kind of shocking to see them strip Nakamura of the championship, not only because of his popularity, but really in recent history, especially with Japanese-style wrestling and the way they present wrestling over New Japan, you don't really hear about that. You don't really hear or see any time of a major championship such as that one being stripped. I mean, granted, the Intercontinental title for New Japan is relatively new, but again, with the popularity of Nakamura, I just don't understand why necessarily they did that, especially when, as we mentioned before, Kenny Omega was basically, they were setting it up and pretty much having that feud ready to go right in their lap, and we were just all like waiting for that moment for Kenny to take it, and then this kind of curveball happens. But on the flip side of that, it would be interesting to see Nakamura a little earlier in WWE. But yeah, just kind of off. Not the bad or good way. It's just very head scratching, in my opinion.
All right, okay. I'm sorry, Fame Black. I'm gonna jump to you really quickly now. Ben spoke about having perhaps some of the members of the Bullet Club, including Shinsuke Nakamura, debuting in NXT. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, would you put these guys on the main roster immediately? Do you think that, I mean, being a younger WWE fan, you know, being in with what's popular here in our culture, shut up. What do you think? I'm making a joke about your age and stuff?
No, I was admiring the sentiment. Go ahead.
You're admiring my alligator polo?
That too, that as well.
And you're quite handsome.
Ah, thank you.
All right, enough ass kissing. So now, as I was saying, my friend,
I was enjoying this show for the first time. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, you are quite the enigma. Anyway, as I was saying, Nature Boy, that's an inside joke, Ben. So what are your feelings regarding having, let's say, Shinsuke? Let's focus on Shinsuke Nakamura debuting in NXT. Would you put him immediately on the WWE roster, or would you have him debut in NXT?
Shinsuke, I would put definitely main roster. I mean, that guy is ready to go. No doubt. As far as Bullet Club, I mean there's gonna be Balor Club. I mean that just looks like the way it's going. So as long as Finn Balor has the NXT Championship, they're gonna have to be in NXT.
Ben?
Sorry, yeah, I don't know if he's ready for the main roster. WWE wants to protect their guys, and they want to make sure that he is. And doing that WWE style, they break a lot of guys coming from Mexico that way, you know. And it's just their little insurance policy to make sure that you're going to follow directions from your agent and not go into business for yourself, that they can trust that and that you're going to be able to do storylines. I'm not sure how much language barrier there is with him. Maybe they want to get that, you know, overcome so he can feel welcome there. And maybe Hideo's going to be his guy to kind of tail around for the first couple of weeks so it's not too overwhelming for him, because there's some things, you know, you guys not being in the business may not see, where if a bunch of guys are coming in, that means somebody's going out. And, you know, people want to protect their contract and their ground, and they will covertly do things backstage to subvert somebody's push, and that can have more impact than anything. So Bullet Club getting split up could kind of be a detriment. And as far as what Kenny Omega's plans were, just while you guys were talking, this came back to me, and something I'll break from the locker room. You know, I remember Kenny talking about how pumped he was for his entrance coming up for the big WC10 event. And after he was talking about other guys, big things they were doing, and Nakamura was one, how they had a long-term plan. So I don't think Omega and the Bullet Club even saw this big thing coming, because, you know, they wouldn't have been talking like that, you know, in the over locker room about entrances and future plans, and not really knowing, you know, with the Bucks and that right there. So interesting that maybe this was a brand new thing right off the new year, not something that's been planned since October or something, you know.
Okay. Do you have any opinions on this?
The only thing I was going to mention was, and this is something that just popped in my head as Ben was talking, was realistically, with the exception of Sting, Triple H said when he first started the whole NXT in the Performance Center, he said everyone will come through there, no matter who you are, what background, and with the exception of Sting, it's got to stay true. So it's tricky to say, especially with, you know, if you watched Nakamura's match with Styles at Wrestle Kingdom 10. Really does make you question whether or not they're going to instantly catapult him to the main roster. Not that he's not ready for the main roster, but his style is so aggressive and so out there that WWE may want to tone him back a little bit, kind of like what they did with Kenta, Hideo Itami. So it's kind of making me think, why wouldn't he put him in NXT? Or at least the Performance Center, just to kind of get him used to the quote-unquote WWE style, or in this case, a watered-down version or a safer version, whatever phrase you want to use, to kind of just get him acclimated to what, you know, the big leagues. Do I think he'll be in NXT? Probably, but that really depends on how well he can adapt to WWE's style, really.
Fame, do you have anything to add?
I just feel like you know, being down in NXT, I don't think he's going to be on NXT TV. Like, he'll be at that Performance Center for whatever amount of time, learning everything that he needs to learn, doing all the classes and stuff. Yeah, definitely, everybody has to go through that. But I don't see him on NXT TV. Put it like that.
Well, Ben, being that you're in the business, I mean, me growing up in the business, my father being a professional wrestler, and myself also being trained as a young man, I think that having him on TV would be more beneficial to him, performing, and then moving up to that main roster. What's your opinion on that?
I think so. What it really does is endear him to this WWE NXT underground. So you have that movement behind him. You see where, you know, the tag team division is. They've done a great job of taking guys who were never known on the indies and creating great characters, and now, you know, the call and answer stuff that they do with them. So they'll build it the same way. I think there's a real opportunity for them to get Kenta Hideo Itami back to where he needs to be, with a simple feud of being a very honorable babyface and this guy being a showman heel that usually, you know, Japanese culture isn't known for. So ruining some moments, and then he could get him back over, I think, that way, and have a great little feud.
Well, Ben, I mean, you did mention just a few minutes ago that, you know, when you're bringing in talent is going to leave. They may be bringing in Shinske Nakamura, And I never felt that Kenta was used to his full potential, and we know that Kenta was hurt. Do you think there's any possibility, guys, that perhaps they would maybe tag team Shinsuke and Kenta, or maybe Kenta would be leaving, going back to Japan, and maybe perhaps having Shinsuke take that role in which they thought Kenta would be able to fill? Anyone jump in?
It's kind of the automatic assumption that they would put them together. If WWE were to just let Kenta go, that's a huge mistake in my opinion. I mean, like you said, they really haven't been using him well, and that could be a factor of many things. And unfortunately, obviously, injury doesn't help his growth either. He's been off TV for some time. Seeing him as a tag team would be awesome, if for no other reason, not just the tag team matches they could do, but when they eventually split them up and face them against each other, I think it would be great. If they're going to go the route with putting Shinsuke into NXT and going through these same motions that everybody else would be, honestly, I would keep them as far away from each other as humanly possible. Because what I would do is I would push Hideo Itami as far as you could, get him on the main roster at reasonable time as fast as possible, but save Nakamura versus Hideo Itami for the big stage in the main event as long as possible. Build up that dream match that everyone wants to see.
Hold on one second. Fame, is that one of the random cats that walk around your apartment?
Yeah,
Loves that dumpster smell.
Yeah, there you go.
What is that?
Oh wait, hold on.
That's not the same cat that was there last week, dude.
No,
Listen,
no.
I've only been on
What is
3
that?
episodes. I've only been on 3 episodes of Big Slam Nation. I'm pretty sure that's the 50th cat I've seen.
The other one was smoking a cigarette and had an eye patch.
Yeah, that's Top Cat.
And what the hell is this?
This is Gary.
Gary?
You're like the black bubbles from Trailer Park Boys.
Gary, that's a person's name. Oh, that's a ridiculous name for a cat.
It's a snail's name.
Oh my goodness! Yes, SpongeBob SquarePants. We're all familiar with that.
That
If
cat
anyone
looks
has any children.
bad.
Now, Ben, I'm gonna jump into this really quickly. We're gonna move across really quickly. I'm almost tired of talking about Bullet Club. Bullet Club, Bullet Club, Bullet Club. Every freaking website, every freaking podcast. All week on WZ Daily, all week at OneWrestling.com. Shut up. It's been Bullet Club, and maybe the Balor Club. Dude, when the hell are these? Do you have any inside information regarding when the hell these guys are actually showing up? The only person, to be honest with you, that I'm excited to see is AJ Styles in the WWE ring again. Yes, again, guys. I said again. He has been in the WWE ring. Ben.
You'll see AJ first in a premiere like Jericho, I believe. But I've heard Doc Gallows and partner aren't going to be around till March, and that Shinsuke's going to NXT. So if this is done the right way, I think they should all be on TV together at the same time. You could bring AJ in with his big thing and face him off versus Balor if you want to and get that started and play off of what happened at Wrestle Kingdom 10 from him getting kicked out. But have the whole thing be a work on the audience. And I think you have a whole year of Kenta versus Shinsuke on the NXT circuit, maybe even, and then they split. But Shinsuke's always elevated because of Bullet Club, and then when Kenta gets there, it'll mean something. And then they come together to do business again later after they have their own little separation feud with somebody else. Maybe some incredible matches with Lucha Dragons, what have you. I wouldn't tag them together. One guy is the opposite of the other, so you play the yin and the yang off of each other to get the best out of it, and they know each other's style, and they're going to feel more comfortable both adapting that WWE style that they do need to be trained in because, let's face it, that's what the office wants, and that's what you're going to do when you're hired.
I understand you're saying that the yin and the yang, they're both different. They both have different styles, but, I mean, in the past, and I'm going to jump to you, Fame Black, in the past, and many tag teams have been different. You had the big guy, the little guy. I mean, one of my favorite tag teams of all time is the Hart Foundation, and two of the more different characters. You have the cool technician, Bret Hitman Hart. You had the bruiser, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. I mean, do you think this could possibly work? Ben doesn't. If I'm right, Ben, you're not thinking that they should keep them together, right?
They can, but later they come back to that. The thing is to show them hatred of each other and have the crowd convinced. And then it's Hideo's heel turn to join Bullet Club that means something after that. After you've believed in him because of this cocky prick heel. Al Snow, day one, you put heat on your heel and you make your baby off of your heel. So if you just put them together and say, hey, they're babies, the odd couple, you're not going to get the mileage that later you can get with that. And when you think it would be one guy switching one way, it's not. It's the other guy heals out and joins Bullet Club. That's better business in the wrestling world from behind the scenes.
Fame, how would you book it, buddy?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't really know if I would put them together. I mean, it's too. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it just because of the look. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's a race thing, definitely. It's when you're looking at them. It is what it is. It's a race
No,
thing.
we're talking real here. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, look, Michael Cole, who works there, gets Sin Cara and Kalisto mixed up, and they're just Mexican.
How would he? I mean, two Latinos in masked?
One is tall, significantly taller than the other.
No, they're not.
They're just standing on their tippy toes. Come on now.
So I'm just looking at it like two Japanese guys, and they got Japanese names.
So you're excusing Michael Cole's ignorance on his own product to do bad business. Is that what I'm understanding?
I'm saying like he does it. Like I'm saying that it's not right, but this is the real talk. He works there. He gets them confused. I'm sure a lot of other people do. People get the Usos confused.
That's called you're not making stars the right ways. That's not race confuses me.
You might be right. I mean, look, but there's a group of people that think all black people look alike. I don't get bent out of shape. I just call those people the police.
I'm one of them. I mean, I get you and A-Track mixed up, even though A-Track's like 300 pounds and 6'5".
He ain't got no hair.
Yeah,
He doesn't?
You got that old dirty bastard haircut going right now. 36 chambers right now.
Yo, matter of fact, let me tell you something. If you guys don't know, apparently, you know, let me ask you a question real quick before I jump to OK Fabe. Ben, on WrestleZone Daily, you spit some freestyle rhymes, and I'm not asking you to cut a rhyme right now, but I mean, is that one of your favorite genres of music? Are you into freestyle hip hop, or you like hip hop, underground hip hop?
Yeah, I like real 97 to 2000 hip hop. You know, I grew up listening to bootleg tapes at like age 12 of NWA Easy in the closet so I wouldn't get caught, you know, and get whipped.
Me too.
And then once Wu-Tang 36 Chambers dropped, Biggie dropped 93, my life was changed forever. So, you know, I do everything Wu-Tang I can, but I also have, forever, man. Wu-Tang forever for me. And, you know, I do have a affinity for like some Canadian rock music too that's real heavy, good lyrics, poetic stuff. So I go through the genre, you know, and came up through that Nirvana era too. So some of that stuff, but definitely quality hip hop, Wu-Tang forever. You know, that whole East Coast and Snoop Dogg era, Dre era.
All right, and OK Fabe, I know that you're a big fan of hip hop, and I know that you love Vanilla Ice. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I'm personally, actually, the biggest genre I'm a big fan of is definitely barbershop quartet. I mean, it is hands down
Son of a...
the most the most entertaining. Come on, you can have. I mean, no disrespect, but I mean, barbershop quartet.
Rose, my home again, Rose. There
Wait a
you go.
second. Wait, tell me. You sing too?
I do it all, man.
Man of many talents. Man of many talents.
Let me tell you something right now. I could also spit a rhyme. If you didn't see the video, I'm gonna actually text the video for when I actually proposed to my beautiful fiance Jennifer.
They saw that one.
Did you see that one? Did you see that one?
Yes.
Now listen.
Yeah, send it to me.
I'm gonna send it to you, brother. I did a day in the life.
Stop me from being there for that.
I did a day in the life, and I did Frank Sinatra's All the Way to her live in front of a whole bunch of people. Guys, if you haven't seen it, go to OneWrestling.com. Big Ray pops the big question. It's actually pretty cool. Bill Apter actually did an intro for my video. That guy, I love him. He's like an uncle to me. But anyway, all right. Let's talk wrestling. What are we talking about? Freaking music and barbershop quartets. OK Fabe.
That struck a chord with me. My grandfather used to do all that stuff. That's really what kind of put me on a performance, seeing him when I was like 4 and 5 years old. So that was nice to hear that, actually.
No, it's actually really cool. My father actually used to do porn. That's why I what
used to.
Yeah.
I thought you looked familiar.
Yes,
never mind.
It's him. Anyway.
Okay, we got the same haircut, son. Obviously, I'm still doing.
It's the purple polo. That's where I keep seeing it.
It is not purple. It's kind of like an off blue. But anyway, listen, guys. All right. So enough Bullet Club talk. When it happens, it happens. I in my humble opinion. I think, and I've mentioned this 1,000 times on WZ Daily, I think that the Bullet Club should debut at Royal Rumble No, they should assist Finn Balor in the match. They just cause havoc. Finn Balor does not get eliminated. He just walks out on his own alongside the Bullet Club, and people tune into the next Raw. People tune into SmackDown, and they're like, what the hell just happened? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear your comments. Leave your comments here below at onewrestling.com and YouTube /OneWrestling video. We're going to move on to the next subject. Now, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin, son. Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to be at WrestleMania. Apparently.
What?
What?
Colbert?
Let me tell you something. Stone Cold Steve Austin apparently is on a couple of podcasts. He was talking quite candidly about the fact that, and I'm gonna jump quickly to OK Fabe, that he is going to be booked at WrestleMania for and storyline wise. I mean, what the hell is going on? Why is Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania this year besides it being in Texas?
Yeah, he was kind of very vague about the whole thing. He didn't really say what he was going to be a part of. The only thing we know is that he said that he would be at Sorry, my son's even excited so much.
Hold on, guess what? Keep it rolling.
What?
Stooge report.
Woo! High five. Yeah, I have no idea what he just said.
We never do.
No.
Going in the pool.
Oh, yeah, we'll be going to a pool tomorrow because of the freezing 37-degree temperature. We definitely need to.
But anyway, on the Stone Cold tip.
So he basically was very vague about the whole idea. The only thing he said was that he would be appearing at WrestleMania 32 and that creative plans were in motion, but he couldn't state what exactly they were. He was very hush-hush about it. I mean, honestly, we probably won't. I mean, this is just from my opinion. Probably won't see the guy in the ring. He's
going to be a referee.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that whatsoever.
That's what he do. He referee. That means everybody's getting a stunner.
Yep, everybody.
In one match.
Concession stand guy, ring announcer Michael Cole twice just because he could do it a second time.
Okay, Fabe, I've been asking a really pointed question. In what match?
That's the thing. He didn't say which one. He was very hush-hush. I mean, maybe main event, but never know. That's the big question. I mean, I probably wouldn't put him in the main event. I'd let the main event sell itself and have Austin's thing kind of be like a side thing. But yeah, I could see him as a referee.
All right, Fame. I'm gonna jump to you really quickly before I jump to Ben. I'm gonna let Ben think about this one. Go ahead, Fame.
I mean, I'm the one that threw up there that he was gonna be the referee. That's what he do. He's Stone Cold is ref man now. That's cool.
Hold on. I'm sorry, Mark Henry. That's what he do.
Yeah, that's what he do. So he is gonna have no sleeves, right? and he's gonna stun everybody. I don't know what match. Probably, I mean, I could see them putting in the main event, but then it would have to be serious. Like, no man could contain Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. Someone got involved last time. No one's going to get involved this time. Like, I don't know. That's the only way I would sell it.
I love it.
It's got to be your voice narrating it, though. It's got to be, like, in that exact tone.
Tell me, really quickly, Bin Hamin, I'm going to ask you one question before we jump into this question. Is it just me, or does Fame Black sound exactly like Chris Tucker from Friday?
Yeah, a little bit. Yes, he does. Yeah, for sure.
A little bit. He could be the brother. Come on.
Fame, would you please, just for one more time for me?
What do you need?
You got
knocked out? Can I say that?
Yeah, but don't say the F word.
Oh, and that takes all the way from it.
Would you please?
You got knocked out, man.
That works. Ben, your opinion on what's happening here with Stone Cold Steve Austin?
I think it definitely Fame Black's got it right as far as the ref spot goes. And the match for me is Kevin Owens versus Undertaker. Big Texas, come home, does good business. You can stunner Owens at the end. Him and Taker standing tall, Texas boys, getting over in the stadium in their backyard. And then from there, you can do even a little side business with Owens and Austin.
Really?
That just makes me more excited for WrestleMania.
Owens said that he wants to face Taker, and usually that's a dangerous thing to say what matches you want before Mania around that time, but I feel like when guys drop pebbles in the ponds like that and there isn't much time left on Taker's bump card, to be punched, that if you got a match to go, it's going to be in the Taker match. Two Texas guys. Now, who's Taker going to face? And Owens is pushing for this, and he's pretty much one of your top workhorses now. What are you going to do, bury him? There's a 60% chance they will, but I'm calling that one.
I mean, you can also. I mean, there's no guarantee that this is the Undertaker's final WrestleMania, And if you have Stone Cold Steve Austin, like Ben was saying, at WrestleMania in the ring with the Undertaker, and he does stun whomever, and then he ends up stunning the Undertaker, you can build a whole year towards the Undertaker's final match versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Too. Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
my goodness, Fame Black, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus the Undertaker, two of the biggest names in the Attitude Era, possibly the golden era, quote unquote, of the WWE. Would you buy a ticket to see that?
I don't know.
Really?
Listen, it sounds nice. It sounds real nice, man. I like Stone Cold. I like The Undertaker, but they're injured and old.
What?
And it's 2016, and how good is Stone Cold gonna work? You know that man had to retire early from neck injuries. You know that the Undertaker had to be carried out like not more than once. Like, it's up there, man. I'm not saying they can't go, but they're not gonna give me what I want. It's not gonna be like 1999 again.
Okay, Fabe. Just the mere spectacle of seeing Stone Cold Steve Austin standing across the ring from The Undertaker, and they book this match as their absolute last match ever. Would you buy a ticket to see this?
Yes. I get Fame Black's point completely. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, is it going to be as good as they were in their prime? Absolutely not. But it's if you're a wrestling fan, if you love seeing especially those two particular characters, you're going to want to see it just off of the marquee. The marquee is just, you see the match on paper and you'll see it no matter what. This is kind of one of those matches. Although it would be kind of a head-scratching thing that why they wouldn't do it in Texas this year if they're going to be in Texas versus next year. But I see the point. But yeah, if they did Austin versus Taker at Mania, yeah, I would definitely. I don't care what the situation is. I would still want to see it.
Ben?
Yeah, both of these infidels are weighing it out what I already did in my head. Absolutely. Fame Black has got it right with the fact that they can't go. We've seen what happened with Stinger and him. They could be the exact same thing. You don't want to see the old hurt animal at the zoo, thinking they were in their prime. And he's exactly right. If they were going to do it in Texas, they'd do it this year. So what do you need? You need a workhorse heel. Now name your top heels in the company who can go at the Undertaker's level, who are a draw. And it's Brock Lesnar, it's Kevin Owens, and if there was any heat on Rusev, there may be, or Alberto Del Rio, or Sheamus. And out of those guys, leaps and bounds of those is Kevin Owens. And if he's requesting it, he's the workhorse. And here's the other thing you got to think of. Baby's up at Mania.
Baby's
Send
up.
Send the crowd home happy, okay?
Yo, we got a hashtag, Baby's Up at Mania. Go ahead, buddy.
Baby's up at Mania.
That's
Personally,
your classic booking.
Personally, I like the fact that The Rock retired Austin because The Rock is my all-time favorite character, favorite wrestler of all time.
Shocker for that.
Shocking. You want to hear something funny? Guys, The Rock is apparently Jennifer, my fiance's all-time favorite, but she didn't even know he wrestled. Disgusting. Anyway, so now we're going to move on. Alberto Del Rio. Now, guys, you're going to be watching this Friday, January 15, 2016. Alberto Del Rio defeats Kalisto and takes the belt off of this young talent. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna actually shoot right now. I'm pissed.
That should be happening like right now.
Fame Black, it is my turn. I am so upset.
It's like watching a couple fight. Go ahead.
I am a couple of Anyway, listen. I am so upset, and I'm gonna go right to you, Fame, really quickly. Turn off your TV and stop watching pornography.
I was watching SmackDown. I was watching Alberto Del Rio. I was doing research.
Stop watching pornography, Moran, as Bin Hamin would say. Listen. Right. I am so upset. I was so excited over the fact that they gave Kalisto, who, in my opinion, is probably one of the most exciting baby faces to watch in the WWE, or maybe in wrestling right now in this point in juncture. They gave him the U.S. title. You could have built this guy to be the next Rey Mysterio, but no. Technically, the next day on Tuesday, after Monday, even though they show it Thursday, you take the title off of this young talent and you put it back on Del Rio. Now, it's nothing against Alberto Del Rio. I think Alberto Del Rio is a fantastic talent. I think he's one of the best in the world. I think Alberto Del Rio should be a world heavyweight champion again. WWE screwed up that booking, by the way. But why? Why, Fame Black, did they take the title off of Kalisto the day after he won it?
Well, let's put it to you. I know that the U.S. title is now destroyed and over, and there will never be any more U.S. title matches for anybody, let alone Kalisto at the Royal Rumble. It's plenty of time for him to win it back and then carry it. I mean, I think that they just installed a little bit of storyline. I think it's fine. Like, Kalisto won, then Alberto won it back. Now what's going to happen at the Rumble?
It's fine. Okay, Fabe, is it fine? Is it really, really fine that they took the title off of this young guy?
SmackDown?
Dude, you know how much money you could make off a little Kalisto Maskas? You hear me? I can't even speak right now. Do you know how much money Mil Mascara is actually one of my very favorite wrestlers of all time. But anyway, do you know how much money WWE could have made off of this young talent? This guy is one of the most fun. When the Lucha Dragons are in the ring, I watch. I do not take my eyes off the television screen. Okay, Fabe, explain to me. Bring me down. Make me not angry as to why WWE decided to book this guy to lose the United States title the night after he won it. Please.
Blood pressure. Careful, easy.
Sorry.
Goose Fraba.
I'm
Goose Fraba.
trying. Okay.
Goose Fraba.
Thank you. I don't know what the hell you're saying, but fine. That works.
It's okay. I don't either. So, I don't know. I don't know why they did such a quick title change. The only possible thing I could think of was to further an angle between the two of them, and even that's a bit of a stretch.
People to watch SmackDown.
That might be another reason too, and Fame Black's kind of got a point. The only thing is, I'll be honest, I was just like you, Ray. Just like you when I heard that Kalisto lost the championship back to Del Rio.
What do you mean? You were very handsome?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then just time and everything just happened. Just
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the purple shirt, the alligator. It all just comes together.
Shut up.
I'm just saying. Anyway, my
moving.
point is that I'm hesitant and I'm keeping my reserves because I'm hoping that this leads to something. We've seen this countless times where one small match or one small moment in wrestling makes you go, "Oh, what the?" and you just flip the table. I'm kind of trying to be patient and hesitant, hoping that something comes of this in the next couple of weeks. Maybe we see Kalisto win it back at the Rumble. Maybe we see a continuation between Del Rio and Kalisto in more matches. Because let's be honest, their matches are pretty good. No matter what, the last couple of times we put them together, I've not seen any bad matches. I've seen nothing but good stuff. So maybe they're trying to milk that a little bit and do that with a title switch so frequently, maybe a bit too frequently, but I'm praying and hoping this eventually leads to some sort of major, massive push for Kalisto. But yeah, I'm kind of just, I'm being patient a little bit, but it's hard. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, Ben, listen, I've never been a big fan of hot potatoing a title, especially when you got it on a hot talent. What's your opinion?
Yeah, you guys are kind of dancing around it a little bit, so hopefully I can clear this up a little. Said El Snow 101 was you put heat on your heel and make your baby off your heel. Alberto Del Rio, a great heel, tons of heat. Kalisto, a lower to mid-card tag guy. He goes over on the heel. He's made. You've made your baby, okay? Now, what Big Ray says is 100% true. The guy Rey Mysterio sold $10 million in masks to little kids. I work with Pro Wrestling Blitz in Chicago, and the guy there, Grin, who's local in Chicago, paints his face like, you know, kind of Halloweenish, but green or orange. He'll come with 50 to 70 masks, and he'll sell every one of them for $10 to an 8-year-old kid. They don't know shit about, they don't know anything about Grin, or he's not on TV, or what happened. That level. Now, you made your baby off your heel. You ride that wave. You don't title swap. Now, what you've done with a title switchback is show that a lower mid-card guy can beat your top heel. All they've done is lower Alberto Del Rio's stock price, and to have a feud back and forth, the hot potato it is 60% of the payoff you could have got, and we're in this business to make money, and now they've elevated nobody, and everybody's at a 70% level. Well, it's completely wrong booking.
Well, listen, guys, I mean, right off the top of my head, why did the WWE bring Alberto Del Rio into the WWE? Why did they bring him back? Alberto Del Rio was one of the hottest commodities. Now, Ben, you made a great point. You know, you don't take a guy like Alberto Del Rio and have a mid-carder beat him only to win it back, because it makes the mid-carder look stronger than the main eventer.
It was a beautiful elevation. He was there. He went to the next level, and they chopped it out under his legs out in 24 hours.
It was a fluke. They made it off as if it was a fluke. And then if they have Kalisto beat him again, then it makes Alberto Del Rio look weaker, which, unbeknownst to a lot of wrestling fans, I don't know if you guys realize, but not for nothing, Alberto Del Rio was one of the hottest commodities in 2015. He was the AAA Mega Champion. He was the Lucha Underground Heavyweight Champion. This guy was sought after by everybody. TNA was throwing money at this guy, and I just, it blows my mind.
First class ticket and $6,000 for the Indies.
It blows my mind.
And 50-50 on signings.
Every time you open your mouth, Ben, I'm just getting more and more angry. I got to be honest with you, because
Welcome to my world.
Because it doesn't make any sense. You have a guy in Kalisto, a guy that this isn't. Listen, you know, I mean, he's a young guy, but he's put in his work. He's earned his stripes. The guy's come up. The guys put in the damn work.
They have great matches because they worked in Mexico for a decade together.
I mean, people right now, you know, and this is, you know, Ben, you talk about how WWE promotes to 8-year-old babies, you know, and basically, you know, this is what's pissing me off, because Fame Black, did you know that Kalisto has been in the business for about 10 years or over 10 years?
I thought that boy was 17 years old.
Right, exactly. You're how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? You're in your 20s, right?
26.
You're 26 years old. Okay, Fabe, how old are you?
28.
You're 20. Damn, you look a hell of a lot older, man.
Yeah, I thought you were older, man.
I mean, do you smoke and drink every day? I mean,
he sleeps on his face.
He knows the secret.
He sleeps.
Yep. You know how hard it is to breathe with 3 pillows, but that.
Anyway,
You look like you sleep upside down.
Oh. Is this the portion of the show where we make fun of each other? I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
All right, very cool.
Oh, great catching on there, Ray.
Oh, because we do that.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Oh my God, I can't breathe. All right, so anyway, listen. So my point, the point I'm trying to make is that, you know, again, Kalisto is not some kid that just came out of the freaking indies, worked a couple of months in NXT, and is, you know, on the roster. This guy has been putting great matches on in Mexico for quite some time. I think the guy has earned a run with the U.S. title. I would have loved to have seen what Kalisto would have done with that title if he held it for 6 months. Ben?
The game is Kalisto wins, he's up and he's over. You do the rematch with ADR right away, and now you get to play what we refer to in improv as playing out the game. What is Kalisto's game defined? It's getting over on ADR and slipping away with a quick roll-up win when you think all is lost for him after he works a ton of heat on him. And he goes, and Alberto gets more and more furious like a heel should. So it builds to a pay-per-view gimmick match like we saw him do in the tag match, the Margarita del Sol gimmick that he does. And, you know, on the ladder was incredible. And they didn't win the titles from New Day that night. So all this was a build to that, and they've chopped all that out, like we said again. So they've devalued him, they've devalued the title, and lowered Del Rio's stock as a top heel.
All right, before we move on, is there anything anyone wants to say? Okay, and then Fame.
I mean, pretty much repeating what everybody said. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, wasn't a fan of the title change, and he's got a point in terms of I feel like the booking with that has just been either reversed, sped up, crunched down, everything but the right possible way. Whether it be they did it backwards, whether they did it too short, they didn't build it up long enough. It's just odd and backwards. And I feel like that with Kalisto being especially a hot commodity after the tag team match, despite them not winning the tag team titles, I think it was pretty over. He was starting to get over. You knew he was going to get over. It was just a matter of time. And I feel like they had this beautiful opportunity, and they're just like, let's just do this in that way. And I feel like they don't know what to do to nurture and grow this character and grow it as to be a bigger, better commodity than it was when he won the title.
And then Fame. I mean, it's not like the guy can't speak English. The guy he comes off. He cuts a pretty decent promo, Ben. I mean, shake your head. You can agree. Fame Black. I mean, the guy cuts a good promo. The guy has a good look. The guy is great in the ring. The guy may not be 6 feet tall, but the guy is one of the most electrifying athletes in pro wrestling. What do you think, buddy? Before we move on.
Listen, I don't think he's being being held back at all. Like I agree with you, and I'm looking right now. These masks are $50 on WWEshop.com. These Kalisto masks.
Wait, they don't have the cheaper ones.
No, this is the only Kalisto mask is $49.99. Anyway, my point is though, you got to get people to watching SmackDown. If you think a title can change on SmackDown, it might be worth watching. Even if you hear about it 2 days before, you're still like, man, you know, I might go check that out. It might have been not the right one to do right away, but I mean, if Kalisto had won it originally, it wouldn't have been as big. Never mind. Oh, no, scratch that. Raw was the best place to do it. His masks are $40 or $50. He'll be fine. He'll be okay. And he's gonna beat Alberto Del Rio at the Rumble.
Ben
could have sold 1 million masks. And only going to sell 10,000 now at $49.99. Big mistake. Creative doesn't mean anything when you're running a corporate company and you gotta make quarterly dividends at the end now, buddy. So merch is what it is. If you're going through the C+ filter for 8-year-olds, don't have money, so their parents are gonna buy it for them, or they're gonna cry in the lobby the whole way home. So guess what? The kid's getting a mask regardless.
All right, guys.
He's not over.
All right, guys. Listen, again, we want to leave it to you guys. Leave your opinions here at OneWrestling.com or YouTube/OneWrestlingVideo. Again, you can follow us on Twitter at Big Ray Show, at Fame Black, at OKFabe, and at Bin_Hamin. Now, we're going to keep this rolling, my brother. Now, listen, I was going to talk a little bit about Brock Lesnar, but we can save that for another day because it is what it is with Brock Lesnar. He is just an amazing game changer in the WWE. I thought, and I just want to spend 2 minutes on this. I thought Monday Night Raw was boring this week. Again, my opinion, and I just want a quick opinion. What does Brock Lesnar do? Why when Brock Lesnar walks into an arena on a TV show, I mean, it made Monday Night Raw better. Ben, why?
He's the only legit and real over guy in the whole company. Aside from John Cena, he's the only one. The UFC credibility, the suplexes, even when guys in a match start to get heat on them where the tide has to turn, it's not believable. I don't care who it is, even if it's Sheamus, somebody equally. They have to do something to really work a body part excessively to get him down. And if they don't, it looks like Brock is just going from a legit killer to a phony wrestler for a minute until the finish comes. That's how credible he really is and how dangerous. That Kurt Angle level, you know, when it's time to go, pro wrestling goes out the window. You know you're about to see somebody get hucked around like a sack of potatoes. So you got to use them the right way. And when you have an intelligence insulting level Raw opening where even your roster looks bemused and ridiculous and made fools of in front of the audience you're trying to get them over in front of, and then later they have to stand there in a half lumberjack match in front of the boss and try and do their character, and nobody's really into it because it's not them. And it's not even the stipulation that was originally set up at the beginning of the show as like a gauntlet match. What are you supposed to do? Bring out Brock, he can huck a couple people around, and that's it. Now that's a Band-Aid on a broken leg to me.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we're just hearing from Bin Hamin, formerly of OVW, 2CW, and currently WrestleZone.com. Now, again, yes. OKFabe, your opinion on Brock Lesnar kind of changing the face of this week's Raw.
To kind of go off what Ben said, one word that comes to mind is presence. I don't know whether it was, you can say it was by accident, on purpose, whether it be Paul Heyman, whether it be the way he's booked in matches and segments, but just when he comes out to the ring, there's something about when you see him, it's just bam, instant attention getter. Whether it be his legitimacy, whether it be his size, whether it be his background, just something about him does not fit the mold of WWE.
Right.
And I mean this in a nice way. He's a freak of nature.
Absolutely.
And I mean that in the most positive way, in case he's watching, because he's going to eat me alive. But it's just the way he looks.
I'm sorry, and you'd be delicious with barbecue sauce. I could tell.
No, I would
bet
give
you know all about it, Ray.
You know
worst
what?
case of the
Say
runs.
one thing here. You're absolutely right, OKFabe. He does have that presence. But what's strange is some guys do and some guys don't. Like when you're standing toe-to-toe. I mean, I've been toe-to-toe with Brock at OVW. And, yeah, he's wider than me. I'm a big guy, 6'3", 240. But he didn't have that, like massive size. I obviously respect him for who he is. But I kind of felt the same way with Bobby Lashley. We were standing toe-to-toe, and I didn't feel real intimidated by him. But then when I stand next to a guy like Abyss, man, you feel a difference. You feel a difference there. Or even Drew Galloway, I felt a real big difference when I was at TNA. So it's strange because on camera, it seems like I would feel that from Brock too. And I'm not saying, if you're listening, Brock, I don't want to get F5, brother, but that's or I do actually. That would get me over huge. I'll take a couple. But no belly to bellies. That is a weird thing in real life in wrestling. Sometimes you can be right toe-to-toe with a guy, but on camera, they come through like Godzilla.
Very cool. Fame Black, close out the segment, buddy.
I mean, listen, Brock is that man. It's something about, I believe, if Paul Heyman said it, that Brock Lesnar could come to my house and pick it up and just throw it down the street, I'd be like, man, I don't want that. I'll buy the Brock Lesnar insurance. It's that kind of power, man, and that dude's huge. I mean, I said it was a bad idea to put him in a Rumble, and Paul Heyman was saying what I was saying all night. No, Brock Lesnar says no. He wants to be the main event of WrestleMania. Why would he be involved in this nonsense here? Which I was like, yeah, why would he be? So I can see him doing what you've been talking about with the BALOR Club. He might have the one and just walk out. Like, I'm Brock Lesnar. I didn't need this.
Right, just cause havoc. Go ahead, Ben.
I just want to ask you, I'll go, this is what I do with my Raw crew when we're watching the show.
Hold on, Ben, repeat that again? Repeat that again?
This is what I do with my Raw crew when we're watching the show, just to mess around, like I'm sure you watch with your dudes. If you had to go 2 minutes with Brock Lesnar, what's your strategy? How do you go?
I am punching his nuts until they freaking roll down his trunks.
So you're going straight crotch shot, hoping and praying that it works.
I'm bringing salt. I'm bringing a knife. If I can sneak a handgun into the freaking arena, I'm doing it. I'm doing anything possible to keep this guy at a distance. Now, if we're close, I'm grabbing the first appendage I can, biting as hard as I possibly can, my brother. Dude, I'm from the streets, man. You got to survive.
As a favorite, we try and go for the fingers. Like, you just get one finger in the mouth, bite his finger off. That you might have a chance.
You might have a chance, but then he'd probably take the finger out of your mouth and stick it into your eye. Fame Black.
Listen, I'm gonna lose by like the time limit because I'm gonna roll out the ring when he comes out. I'm gonna roll on the other side. Like I'm
gotta go. No, the stipulation is you
have
to
go. You're in a cage, dude.
I gotta go. One of your cats.
Oh man, man. Yeah, I gotta go with Ray's strategy. The balls.
Balls.
It's the only kryptonite I got in this ring. Like, I got a pretty mean kick. Like if I can. It's got to be a kick, man. The kick will take you down. You got to hit that spot right under the... Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Right into the yam sack. Good, okay.
Jeez. I got nothing to top that. I really don't.
All right.
I
can't.
Listen, guys. Let's slow down here. I want to move on. Because this is a perfect segue, guys. Speaking about yam bags. Sunny, formerly of the WWE, Sunny, the gorgeous former original diva, I guess you would call it, even though I feel that the original diva was the Fabulous Moolah. But again, that's my opinion. Who would you consider to be the original diva, Ben?
Man, the original diva, I gotta go as Miss Elizabeth because she didn't have to work at all, really, and she was there, in the main event. So that's pretty damn diva. And but I'm a Sunny guy from back in the day. I was hitting puberty at that time, and they were doing a lot of upskirts. And it was an excellent time for a young Bin Hamin to be watching wrestling. And she opened the door for that sexiness to be there.
This segment is brought to you by Petroleum Jelly. Anyway,
petroleum jelly.
You don't even have the KY, my man. What's going on?
Listen, what are we talking
lonely
about?
In the desert. It's
too
lonely.
pure.
He said it's lonely in the desert and quite dry. That's why you need the petroleum. Okay, Fabe. Dude, look.
That's awesome.
How did you wait? Hold on. How did you get Coca-Cola to print out your name?
Yo, Bin Hamin. You can check it out on YouTube. Bin Hamin Super Bowl commercial. Check it out. Coca-Cola commercial I did.
The whole ransom thing he was talking about earlier? There you go.
Shut up. What are you doing?
Corporate Hamin.
What do you... Anyway.
I still haven't heard from Billy Ray or the Professor.
Hold on. I don't know where they are, but listen, guys. Forget about them right now. I'm sure they'll turn up somewhere in a van down by the river, but we're talking about Sunny.
Yep.
This is really sad, because speaking about puberty, I mean, listen, man, I was a teenager too, man, when Sunny came out, and she was beautiful. Even now, Bill Apter did an interview with her last year, and she's a little chunkier, a little heavier, but she's still beautiful. And I can't look at her any other way than the beautiful Sunny. Now apparently,
You never called her on Skype?
shut up. But apparently, for a good price, you can see a hell of a lot more of Sunny. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to get into that. I want to get into a kind of a sad fact, and I'm going to jump really quickly with Fabe. Sunny is selling her WWE Hall of Fame ring, dude. I mean, your opinion?
Kind of at the end of the day, to me, it's up to her. She's in the Hall of Fame no matter what. No one can take that away from her. At the end of the day, she is the Hall of Fame.
And then what they did to Hulk Hogan?
What a bet.
Okay, maybe an exception, but
And then Stucco will be next.
for the most part, no one can take her away from her in theory.
Brother.
But she's still a Hall of Famer. So as far as what she wants to do with the ring, it's kind of up to her. I mean, True is a gift and it's sacred to a lot of us wrestling fans. But at the end of the day, it's her call. So I don't really kind of harper on it. I can kind of see where a lot of people are like, how dare you sell the Hall of Fame ring? But at the same time, it's kind of her call. So
So you're pro-choice.
It's her property, what you're saying.
yeah, yes.
All right, Fabe. How much would you pay for that ring, or pay to see her nude? Anyway, I'm sorry, the ring.
The ring, right?
The ring, Fame.
Okay.
Famous? No, I'm asking Fame.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, I paid for Sunny, but for the ring, I don't know, man, not a lot. It maybe like $5,000, maybe 8 tops.
Really?
Does it say Sunny on it? I don't want if it says Sunny.
I don't think it does. I think it's just a class ring that has the logo with the Hall of Fame, and then in the jewel, it actually has the WWE logo on it.
They don't cop out for the names. That's ridiculous.
Oh God.
Anyway, all right. Well, if it's like that, if it doesn't have her name on it, maybe a good 15, 20, but nothing higher than that.
I mean, do you think it's sad that she has to sell that ring, man?
She didn't have to do nothing. You don't know. She might be like, she might have like a duplicate. She might be able to get a duplicate. Like, hey, Vince, I lost my ring.
No, you're an idiot. Been being in the business, knowing what it takes to get to that level. Okay, man. I mean, it's not everyone that would get a WWE Hall of Famer. I say what you will about the WWE Hall of Fame. Is not a real place. It's an internet fantasy, so on and so forth. Listen, you make it to the WWE Hall of Fame, that is a freaking status quo. You get a freaking legitimate ring. You get a nice Legends contract. You've been in the business for years, man. You worked your butt off. Let's say you got that WWE ring. Would you sell it?
No, man. I'd be buried with it. You know, this isn't about the sell it to make money. I mean, she probably has a lot of court costs and lawyer fees, and even more with the DUI conviction coming up. It's not cheap. I know in New York it's going to cost you $6,000 to $10,000 pretty much for now for one of those. And if she's got multiple counts, really what this comes down to is accountability for behavior. You know, and unfortunately, she still doesn't seem to be learning, because anybody can get gotten to in this game and in the Twitter world now. And to see her responses to Mark fans, to really go back in at them, shows that she's not changing. She's not learning anything. She's kind of doubling down on the destructive personality that's brought her to this point, to have to sell the symbol of her legacy, of her life's work. And you're right on the money. It probably is $5,000 to $8,000 tops to some collector who collects WWE stuff to the nth degree. Maybe Billy Corgan will buy it, hopefully, and then maybe even give it back to her. That'd be a nice gesture if
That
you
would be
had the
amazing.
money. But that's not going to teach her any lessons, unfortunately. The downfall of her really came, I think, here.
What do we have there?
Hardcore Homecoming. This one's signed by Terry Funk, but if you don't have it at home, not signed by Terry Funk. When you just saw her, you know, outside of the sexiness, obviously she hit whatever pounds-wise like women will put on later in life, and then they had her lifted up on shoulders and they actually dropped her. And then one of the dudes from 911 in there, and it was just like a sad moment in the ECW arena trying to hold on to some past glory. And now we have her with possibly a home arrest ankle bracelet on, and you can see her touching herself for $200 on Skype if you want for 5 minutes. And you really want to? Do you need a ring after that for $5,000?
I'm sorry. The only reason I started laughing is because when you said she was touching herself, okay, Fabe made a face like a 12-year-old child.
Yeah, well, I mean that's it. Like, would she take the money of a 12-year-old child? What moral compass is left? I think what really needs to be said here is not about buying taking $5,000 or for a ring or anything like that. It's we need a DDP intervention and somebody to really say, let's save your life here, and you hang on to your ring, because this is pretty much just a cry for help to the IWC for people who need to be loved. China's in the same spot right now with not being inducted into the Hall of Fame, deep depression, missing shows in an indie show in Baltimore, and then cutting a promo on YouTube talking about depression. There needs to be something set in place where there's a safety net, where there's an instant reach out here, because playing with fire, it's bad press for WWE if one of these girls does something bad to themselves or something to somebody else, God forbid.
All right, guys, listen. We're almost done with the show. We have 2 more segments to go, and we're almost done. We're gonna run through these really quickly. I don't want to leave.
Buy the ring. Then everybody would be happy.
Well, listen, dude. If you buy the ring, man, we could actually give it to Bill Apter, maybe, and maybe we can.
I said China will buy the ring.
China.
Fun fact, I know how much the ring's
I
going
don't think
for.
so, man. She's got a studio apartment right now.
Right.
I'll buy it for China.
Would you buy it for China? Why don't you buy it right now on eBay?
Listen, I'm going to eBay right now.
Really? Are you really?
I want
to see what it's going for.
I know what it's going for.
How much is it going for?
Any guesses? Quick.
$7,000.
4,100.
Fame Black without looking?
I'm sorry. 5.
3,000.
Really?
That's what she opened it at.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna go higher than that, though, man.
Probably, but
listen. Speaking about ring, let's talk about the TNA ring, the 5-sided ring. What is it? 5 sides now? 6, 5, 4.
It's not a pentagon. No, it's not the pentagon.
An octagon, whatever it is. I didn't go to school. Let's talk about TNA. Listen, really quickly. I'm not gonna spend too much time on TNA. Nothing really dramatic happened this week. We do know that. I'm sorry, Ben. Do you think anything dramatic happened this week?
Hacker Hamin in the crowd behind Drew Galloway during his promo for the Kurt Angle match.
No, you weren't. Were you really back there?
Yeah. I was there for the first 2 days of the taping, man. Shout out to all the production guys. My buddy Jimmy Long Paradise from OVW helped me get an invite there, and dude, everybody treated me great. Bob Ryder, Dixie, Big. Got to see Al Snow and all the guys there, man. It was a good time.
I gotta say something. I'm gonna say this with the utmost respect, so I'm gonna have to really evaluate what I'm about to say. Bill Apter did an interview with Dixie Carter.
And obviously Bill Apter, I saw that.
Right, Bill, and he's sexiest man alive, and we know that.
Of course.
Bill Apter did an interview with Dixie Carter. I always found Dixie to be an attractive older woman. She is my crush now. I'm just gonna keep it that way. Even though, Jennifer, I love you, sweetheart. You know I would never do anything behind your back, but that older woman. Anyway,
Lordy,
I have 315 wives. I'm always taking applications for more wives. That you can get yourself some more. But yeah, man, Dixie.
She's a sweetheart too, right? I heard.
Yeah,
Lordy,
Southern Belle.
Vapors.
Reminds me a lot of my first wife. Rachel. Very Southern, very polite and beautiful and elegant. Beautiful hair, and it's not like she's got a bunch of makeup on or anything, man. She wears it well. I'll always be a Stephanie McMahon
Me
guy.
too.
Yes.
So,
Wow.
And that's the toughest thing is Steph walks out there with crazy gimmicks and a super tight dress, and then she's doing a bad Vince impression. You're like, I hate Vince, but I'm in love with you. So this is doing something weird to my psyche that I'm not really buying.
Owner is confused.
But she's so sexy too. So women empowerment, office wise. Boom, they're on top. I think Dixie's playing it the right way as the babyface, though. She had that crowd super hyped before they even had the cameras rolling.
And I will say, I'll put myself over. Dixie Carter did respond to me directly on Twitter. She's done it quite a few times.
Very interactive.
Dixie Carter, I have the utmost respect for that woman. And I don't know her personally yet, but
Dangerous.
Shut
It's
up.
that purple shirt. It'll do it.
Is it? You think it's the purple shirt?
Yep, it'll do it.
Yeah, it's very Tiger Woods. YOLO, Infidel crushed Hacker Hamin. Ha ha Hamin. Opening for Hacksaw Jim Duggan February 6th. Roll New York stand-up comedies, Infidel. Get your tickets now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man.
Why would he just not cut that promo and commercial if he wasn't?
Oh, baby.
He gave you like a date and a place. And
Get
like,
out.
Is that for
Check it
real?
out. Bin Hamin,
I'm
YouTube
going.
stand-up comedy.
Yo, dude.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yo, Ben, let me tell you something. When you're down here in New York, because I ain't traveling up to you, but when you're down here performing, dude, like I said it off air, now I'm saying it officially on air. Me and you, dude, we're gonna hang, dude, and I'm gonna take you to my local pub down here. We're gonna have a steak and a freaking beer, straight up, dude.
Oh, I was going to take you to Central Park and really hang you, Infidel. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Wait, what are we talking? When we talk about hanging, are we talking about like hanging fun ways or hanging
Saddam style?
Yes.
Oh God, I was thinking about something a little more.
Say hi to the professor and Billy Ray and everybody for us.
Hi, but listen, seriously.
Yeah, I'm glad me and OK wasn't invited to the steak and beer.
Yeah.
It's okay. We got Dallas. We got Dallas, right?
We
got Dallas. We're going to
got
WrestleMania.
Dallas.
We do have Dallas, and we have random cats walking by Fame Black's apartment. But now,
Who else do you think is coming to WrestleMania?
listen, guys. We got TNA Wrestling, Impact Wrestling. I got off track. Dixie Carter is just so beautiful and so pretty and so sweet. But listen, guys, seriously. I was watching Impact Wrestling the last 2 weeks. They debuted on Pop TV. Now, OK Fabe is the official TNA Impact reporter here. What is that?
The guns.
No, those are the guns. Is it a gun show here?
Guess so. I feel bad not paying a ticket.
Are we showing these off?
It's for Dixie.
Well, I want to show Dick. Anyway.
Stop.
Whoa, listen.
Moving
Enough.
forward.
I was gonna
Cut it.
show her my 6 keg. Anyway.
No, I don't want to see none of it. Keep your clothes on.
No.
All of them.
Listen, stop.
Go get a coat.
You know, I need a coat right now. I need to start running again. Now, TNA Impact, I think, in my opinion, OK Fabe, you are the official TNA Impact reporter here at OneWrestling.com. Dude, the show's been good.
Yeah.
It's been really good. I've been really enjoying it, and I love the fact that there is an alternative to WWE. I love watching ROH. I used to love watching 2CW. Unfortunately, it's no longer around. PWG, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I mean, I love the alternative, but I've been a fan of TNA Wrestling since its inception. What are your opinions? Okay, Fabe, we're going to move around really quickly. I don't know if Fame Black, if you've been watching, but, you got the Miracle who confronted the World Heavyweight Champion. Then we have a World Heavyweight Championship match between Matt Hardy and EC3. EC3 is just doing a hell of a job as the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I mean, so much good is coming out of this show. I really do wish people would give it more of a chance. And guys, again, every single Tuesday night, tune into OneWrestling.com and check out my man OK Fabe and his TNA reports. OK Fabe, kick it off, buddy.
So, I mean, in general, their last 2 shows, I mean, obviously the first 2 shows on Pop have been really solid. They're going to be different. If you either have not watched TNA's product recently or have never, it's very different to WWE in a lot of differing ways. Some people might not look at it as a positive, but honestly, it's just a different style. They presented it differently, and they, present their matches a little bit differently as far as how they book it and whatnot. But honestly, between the last 2 weeks, haven't really found a bad match really to criticize on. I mean, maybe there was one match with Jeff Hardy where he had a quick matchup with a younger talent from Chikara at the beginning of the second week. But other than that, even that wasn't bad at all.
Which was good. Which was really good too. I mean, the kid showed a hell of a lot there in that match. I don't know if anybody realized. I mean, he came in as a jobber, but the kid was really good.
Yeah, it was surprisingly strong. I mean, between the world title match that you had, then you had right off that Kurt Angle versus Galloway was absolutely phenomenal, and I really wish people could get a chance to check that out if they haven't. Say what you will, but that those two put on a fantastic matchup. Wish it was a little longer, but even for them, I mean, that's just me being nitpicky, but even then, that matchup stood alone by itself. I even tweeted to Kurt Angle on Twitter afterwards, and he gave me a big thank you for saying how awesome the match was. So.
Really, Kurt Angle responded to you.
Surprisingly so, yes.
Because I have been sending letters and pictures of myself for over.
Yeah, he told me to stop. Just stop everything you're doing.
Yeah, but I'm wearing the whole Kurt Angle like tight.
Not in the pictures he got.
With the hole in the crotch, those ones,
Yeah.
No, those
you gotta stop. I told you gotta stop sending those.
Dude, he's.
I didn't like the one you sent me. To welcome the Big Slam Nation. And
I'm still waiting for mine.
It was messed up.
Kind of insulted.
Well,
hey, don't speak for me.
At least,
you're right.
At least Ben Hamin has something to look forward to, buddy. Ben, your opinions on TNA.
Biological attack.
Ben, your opinions on TNA, man, so far on Pop TV.
Yeah, it was good. I thought the second show was booked better than the first. I think a lot of the stuff that they're fitting in to tell the story backstage that I didn't see live really brought the show together. I was happy to be there to be able to help, just be over the shoulder of some of that B-roll stuff that they did with Kurt Angle, where he's taking pictures with the fans and coming down the escalator and whatnot. They're doing a whole year documentary on Kurt Angle's last year there too. So that's going to be an ongoing thing, I think. But you're absolutely right on the Shinron Jeff Hardy thing. EC3 ran him down to make him seem like he was lower card. It was Shinron's first shot. But I actually got to talk to Jeff Hardy. I was coming back out through the curtain to see the girls segment, and I just said, hey, man, because he worked Excite and one of the 2CW shows, and the kid can go, and he should have probably been squashed there within a minute and a half. Yeah. But I go, Jeff, I thought that was pretty solid, man, for you to work him 50-50, and it made the match on your comeback mean much more. He goes, oh, thank you, dude. That means a lot. That's what we wanted to do. Matt had shown him Shinron after he had gotten hurt, but some of the things he's doing on the indies are incredible, like AR Fox level, type stuff. So I'm glad he got that spot. I'm glad Jeff went 50-50 with him, and it made the match mean more. It could have been a little different in some booking aspects, but it was still pretty refreshing to see and kick off. Galloway versus Angle was everything it should have been and more. It was a lesson for Drew, and it was awesome, man.
Now, with Shinron, I mean, like you said, I mean, how cool is that? That not only
huge moment, bro, huge.
Not only a veteran, and you know what's funny? Out of all the great matches that happened in TNA this week, that match for some reason stuck out to me because Jeff Hardy, and it showed me the type of person, the type of performer, the type of team player. And he's always been a damn team player. I know Jeff Hardy has had his problems and everything like that. And guys, the past is the past. It is what it is. Jeff Hardy is a team player. And for somebody who has not only earned his stripes, but you can call him almost a certified legend in the business, Jeff Hardy let this kid shine. Jeff Hardy gave this kid the time. The kid was able to do that cool little handstand off the ring apron, which I thought was amazingly dope. Fame Black.
He can do all that stuff off the post, go out straight. Shinron's
so
incredible.
Cool, man. So cool. Fame Black. It looks like you actually now Fame Black. Just so you know, Ben, OK Fade knows is more of a WWE loyalist fan, mark, so on and so forth, which is cool. We need at least one of those here. But it looks like you watched TNA this week because you were kind of agreeing with us.
I told you that I was going to do so.
And
I believe last episode.
And did you enjoy it?
I am a man. I'm a man of my word. I did enjoy it.
Oh my! Hold on. You what?
I enjoyed it.
What did you enjoy?
I enjoyed Angle versus Galloway.
No. What other than WWE did you enjoy?
I enjoyed TNA Impact on Pop TV.
The women's hardcore match, the women's street fight was dope too, man.
Listen, here's where I've discovered the difference at, because, and you're right. OK Fabe said it's different. It's just so different. Mm-hmm. It's like Pokemon and Digimon. One is clearly superior, but Digimon is a cool show in its own right, but Pokemon is the master. Pokemon is the one. So it is what it is. And
is it like for guys like myself and Ben, it's like GoBots and Transformers? Ben?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking for sure. Same.
And
I got the Pokemon Digimon reference.
Flame Black totally drew a blank on that one. The GoBots and the Transformers. Go ahead, Flame.
I know Transformers because there's a movie.
You know nothing of you know nothing of GoBots, Moron. I'm sorry. I have to imitate you, my friend.
Do it. Take it.
You should kidnap him.
No,
he's on the list. You're all on the high value target list. You all have a
how did I get here? Ray, what did you get me into?
Listen.
You're all on the no fly list as well.
Let me explain something to you, Ben. If I'm getting tied up, so are you, buddy.
Me? That's
We're
what
still
I'm
talking about getting kidnapped, right?
I don't know anymore.
Anyway, Fame.
On a Big Slam Nation.
Again, with your TNA talk, my friend.
So yeah, listen, I enjoyed it. It's a little bit different. It took some getting used to, but when Angle, I know Angle from WWE, and it's just, he's still incredible. He's still incredible. That match was really fantastic. I know Matt Hardy.
Go ahead, Ben.
You want me to give you a little bit of the scoop right here? This is,
Please do.
I didn't break any of this on WrestleZone. If you want to go kayfabe and get your stuff in, I can wait, man.
Let's go. No. Go.
All right.
Shoot.
Yeah, so two things that I want to put over is I think Matt Hardy is probably the hardest working man in wrestling right now. I watched him backstage for 2 hours, sit in a chair and go over 3 pages of 10-point font script for his piece with Mr. Anderson to try and get everything over to make, plus have his wife and a under-year-old baby in the ring at the same time. That's combustible elements, dude.
Absolutely.
And they even cut a couple things from that Mr. Anderson thing. You were talking about, past discretions earlier. He said some things live that didn't make the TV edit, and I was like, whoa, like drop some actual prescription drugs, starting with an X. And so, that was a weird moment, and that didn't make it in there, which I'm glad they cut that.
They did. They did a good job at cutting, so.
Yeah. It was woo. It was, I don't know if he added that or not, but there's something that's a little bit of an exclusive. Calling that out to Rebby's face while she's holding her kid in the ring. That was a stiff moment, dude, live. Like, people were like, the air went out of the room for a minute.
Can I just make one little comment because you talk about being stiff and everything? And I'm going to say this with the utmost respect. And Fabe closed his eyes because he knows that they call me Pig Ray. But I'm going to say this with Matt Hardy's wife is just a delight to look at.
Dude, she was at 2CW and she was probably 4% body fat, and it almost looked like, remember when R-Truth was in TNA and it looked like his skin hurt to wear it, how jacked he was, and she looked like that as a fitness model. And now that she's had Maxwell, I think she looks more beautiful as like post-kid plush, dude. Like that voluptuous look on her works so much better than the fitness model thing, and she's working every bit of it. So bravo to her, man. It's a snapback model.
And a big bravo to Matt Hardy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, he's only got one wife, so he's not that over.
And how many wives do you have again?
315.
That's it?
Yeah, well, they put the cap on it here.
Put a cap. That can go both ways. I'm sorry.
What an odd number is 315. I would have to
go to Utah to get more.
Well, 316 is copyrighted by Austin, so.
There it is.
All right, so Fabe, close this out because we have to move on. We're running way over. Go ahead, buddy.
Cool. No, overall, I thought these with these last 2 episodes of Impact were really solid. Like we were talking about earlier, they're very different in terms of the style of the way they're booking their matches and everything. But I mean, you had some really good, as Ben was admitting to about the knockout street fight. You don't see that. You don't see women with kendo sticks. Why you would hit Awesome Kong with the kendo stick in the first place is beyond me, but that's a whole other story. She would just get angrier. But the Drew Galloway-Kurt Angle match, phenomenal. The Matt Hardy EC3 match, phenomenal. Another match that I thought was underrated too was Eric Young. I thought Eric Young shined a lot these last 2 weeks.
Absolutely, man.
Not that I ever thought Eric Young was bad to begin with, but I'm like, oh, wow, okay, he's legit. He's legit. He even won back the King of the Mountain, or he won the King of the Mountain Championship for Bobby Roode in a very solid matchup. Plus, we have the reunion of Beer Money, one of my favorite tag teams in TNA. So I definitely think they're on a good steady start on Pop TV. So I'm really looking forward to see what they're pulling off the rest of the year.
All right, so listen, guys, we're gonna run through this top 5. And we're gonna close the show out with this. Guys, again, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the show, we're gonna really, I want to put over ProWrestlingTees.com, because there is an awesome shirt that you guys have to check out. Now, on the WZ Daily, we were talking about the Big Lebowski, so on and so forth, and just Nick Hausman just ended up saying something about the Bin Lebowski, and just the dopest shirt with Bin Hamin holding. What handgun is that you're holding, buddy?
That's the 45. If you look online for any of the Walter shirts, it's the shot from when he pulls out the gun on the guys in, amateurs, and he doesn't want him to mark it because he crosses the line, in the league game. So pretty much had my buddy from NYWC, you guys might know him, Greek God Papadon, pretty much East Coast legend. I hit him up real quick. I said, hey, Pop, can you take this graphic and do my head instead of his? Within an hour, he had it inked up for me. I brought it into Illustrator and knocked it out, man. So big shout out to Greek God. His skills are incredible, man, when it comes to pen and paper.
Dude, if I'm correct, I think it was done on a Monday. You guys mentioned on the Monday it was done on a Tuesday, right?
Yeah, well, you know, Hamin gets it done, man. Ya Allah. 315 wives. I've got a lot of production hands.
That is and you need a lot of money for those wives, apparently. So
That's
now
right.
here we go, guys. Listen, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna close out the show, and we're gonna run through this list because really, I want to hear from you guys there at One Wrestling Land. I want to hear your opinions on our top 5 list. Now, what we did was we took every single member of Big Slam Nation. We're talking about Bill Apter, Bill Schuyler. You got the show, Bill Schuyler, and that's the same guy. We're talking about A-Track Brown, myself, Fame Black, OK Faye, Billy Ray Valentine, unfortunately, Bin Hamin, and again, thank you, Bin Hamin. We're going to put you over at the end of the show, buddy. But Bin Hamin came in literally last minute. I must have messaged the guy while he was skiing about 3 hours ago. Came and joined the show. Thank you so much, Ben. But we all made a top 5 list, and we came up with the ultimate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the top 5 all-time Sting moments. Yes, as we mentioned at the top of the show, Sting is now going to be a member of the WWE Hall of Fame, and what the hell is that? What is that? How much you pay for that? Okay, Fabe, I'm speaking to you.
That's Sting.
That's why.
Sting doesn't talk.
Oh, that's why he's doing the whole not talking gimmick. Yeah, but you have red in so that you're TNA Sting, so you have to yell Showtime.
Woo! Showtime!
All right, very good. That was pathetic. All right, so listen, guys.
That did not sound like Sting at all.
Here we go. Now listen.
I'm not Sting. That's why.
You're not. You're Stung. Listen, you're Sting's brother, Stung. So, look, we're gonna jump into this top 5 really quickly. I want you guys to give your opinions. I'm gonna read them down, and then we want to leave this to the fans, guys. Leave your top 5 here in the comments below. All right, here we go. At number 5, and again, I don't agree with every single pick here. It wasn't my pick, but apparently it was on enough people's list that it came up number 5. So the number 5 Sting moment was Sting's WWE debut. Fame Black, your quick opinion on this?
Wish it was higher. Really was exciting for me. But it was the introduction really of Sting for me, because I came in a little late to wrestling as Sting was going out. Plus, I was a WWE loyalist. I didn't watch WCW until after it was okay. When Vince said it was okay to do so. So it was good for me, because I was like, oh, that's Sting. Holy, you know what?
All right, very cool. Okay, Fabe.
I mean, it's kind of needed to be on the list because this is what we were all waiting for. This was what everyone thought, most people thought we would never see. The one person, the one man that never worked for McMahon, WCW, one marquee name that never worked for McMahon back in the 80s and the 90s was Sting. So it kind of feel like it definitely needed to be on this list because it was one of those moments that you just... I know it definitely won't be forgotten in recent memory as far as like, wow, finally for the first, since way back during the Monday Night Wars, all that fun stuff, we finally get to see the legend, the man, the icon Sting finally inside a WWE ring. So I feel like it kind of needed to be just for this sheer historical value of this moment.
Ben?
Yeah, Stinger and WWE, I think this could have been left off the list. There's plenty more WCW era stuff, and maybe even a TNA appearance was bigger than WWE because he actually did business there, and his matches didn't really expose him as being over the hill to some degree. All he did in that first one was that half superplex and then the dive off of the apron onto the guys. So, I feel it's more self-serving for the WWE brand than an actual truly top Sting moment, but that's because I went through his whole career and watched it all live, so there's a lot more than just that one to think back on.
And again, as I did also, I followed Sting all the way back from when he was down with it was a Blade Runner Blade and Blade Runner Rock. I'm coming off the top of the head. We're talking about the Blade Runners, yes.
Blade Runners, yeah.
Formerly, Jim Hellwig, the Ultimate Warrior, was his tag team partner, and we're talking about way back in the day when they were fighting Hammerneggers down in front of 50 people. I was watching it on television. Sting has a storied career. Again, this moment was cool, in my opinion. It was nice. It was 10 years too late, 15 years too late. 20 years too late, So this is why it didn't make my top 5, but apparently it made the cumulative top 5 of Big Slam Nation. So again, ladies and gentlemen, number 5 is Sting's WWE debut. Let's move into the number 4. Now this is a little more up my alley. Sting beats up the NWO at Uncensored 1997. This is when Sting finally gets into the ring, pulls out the baseball bat, beats the living crap out of every single member of the NWO, and then finally Hulk Hogan standing outside with Dennis Rodman. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Rodman, formerly of the San Antonio Spurs, the Chicago Bulls, the wedding dress. Anyway.
Did you lead with the Spurs?
I did. I thought he
couldn't lead with the wedding dress.
Number one, I think that was Dennis Rodman's best
Kim
work.
Jong-il's homie.
Really? I think Dennis, yes.
That would have been a strong lead.
Yes, but listen. I thought that was amazing. The pop that Sting got when he lowered from the top of the freaking arena into the ring, pulled out the baseball bat. Yo, wow, you heard my hood just came out. I was like, yo, listen, seriously, fantastic. One of my favorite moments, Fame Black.
Yeah, once again, I wasn't watching just yet when that happened. Anyway.
You were still a glimmer in your dad's eye, correct?
No, what are you talking?
I'm sorry. You were born in what? In 88, 89.
There you go. Anyway, so moving on. But when I went back and watched it, I mean, I knew that was the coolest thing about Sting. That made me want to change the channel, but I was like, I can't do that to Vince. So I didn't change the channel as a child. So that's what it was. But I knew that Sting was cool. I knew that it was like, one of those things. And then when I watched it all, on recap, I was like, man, I wish I would have changed the channel a little bit more. But it was actually my number 1 when Sting, became the Crow and took on the NWO.
Okay, very cool. Okay, Fabe.
You had something that was very, not even unheard of nowadays. You took someone who was a notorious white meat babyface with the blonde hair and the face paint, and for over a year transformed him and watched him in the rafters, and you had arguably the biggest, best build to a matchup or a moment in wrestling history. You've never seen this and probably will never see it again. And it was a huge, massive payoff. I think that was probably, if not the biggest pop WCW might have gotten when he finally came down and finally assaulted the NWO. You saw some teases, you saw some interactions, you saw some minor things here and there, but this was one of the bigger payoffs next to obviously the match he has later at Starrcade, but still one of probably the biggest moment as far as that entire giant, almost year-long build.
All right, and Ben, we're going to close out with you, buddy.
Yeah, this is my number 1, I think, that stands out as a stinger moment. Obviously, the lowering down as well. And I could go on about taking other guys' gimmicks, from the Ultimate Warrior stuff or taking the Crow stuff, but this was right. Okay, Fabe's got the best idea. This was a great build. People really wanted it to. You might not like Shivani yelling at you or any of the other WCW announcers telling the story. To some degree, some people have issue with that, but this was some of the best creative work they did long-term for long-term business to make you want something and pay it off. And this was the high point of wrestling in the last 100 years. 1997 was the high point of wrestling. So to have that, I can still see the uncensored graphic on the back of my eyelids, tonight when I close my eyes after we talk about this.
Very, very cool. Now let's move on to number 3. Number 3 was a pretty damn big moment, not only for wrestling, not only for WCW, but for wrestling in general. I'm going to start off with Ben. Ben, we're talking about the last ever Monday Night Nitro. Sting versus Ric Flair for the last time. Sting says something.
McMahon.
Yep, Sting says something. Vince McMahon was also involved. It was.
I saw it.
It was TNT. Yes, you did see it. It was TNT. And it was the USA Network, both at the exact same. It was a TNN, I think, at the time. Was it TNN?
No, TNN. You're right, TNN. It was TNN.
It was TNT and TNN at the same time, I believe. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But WWE was simulcasting the show. Ric Flair in a Monday Nitro T-shirt tapped out to the Scorpion Deathlock, and then the longtime rivals hugged. Bin Hamin, your opinion on our number 3 pick?
Yeah, I think that's definitely should be in there if you're talking about the end of the Monday Night Wars and then what the number 5 pick was to paying it off. If that number 5 pick happened in 2002 or 2003 and not just a couple of years ago, it would have meant a hell of a lot more. But Sting, being an original WCW talent and holding out all the way to the end to close the company out, that's his legacy from the beginning to the end. That's the Eric Young of TNA, from the beginning of spot to the end where he cut his teeth. Sure, he had stuff before that, when he was coming up, but before he was anybody, WCW made him. So that closure has to be in this list. Number 3, a good spot for it.
Absolutely. Okay, Fabe.
I mean, it's kind of fitting, appropriate. I don't want to say ironic because it sounds like a nine, but it is fitting and appropriate that the very first episode of Monday Nitro's main event was Sting versus Ric Flair. So it's only fitting that the last episode of Monday Nitro main event should also be Sting versus Ric Flair. When you think of the two most synonymous names with WCW, most of the time it's usually either Ric Flair and or Sting. Maybe a few others, but those were the two marquee names of WCW. That night was all about history. The very last Nitro, Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon. And so with WCW basically closing its doors, it seemed very appropriate to, again, take the two most synonymous names with WCW and close out the show with the very last match of Nitro. So definitely deserves to be on this list.
All right, okay. And Fame Black, please.
Okay, so as a loyalist, this was exciting for me because I was like, yeah, it's over. It's over. They bought the company. I'm like, what was it? TNT, TNN, TNT, TNN. It's McMahon's everywhere. This is great. WWE is taking over. It's the one. I was so excited. And I watched the whole Nitro. And, man, I was like, I hope these dudes end up on Raw next week because these dudes are pretty good. And I'm watching Sting versus Ric Flair.
You are such a freaking WWE mark, you bastard.
Hey, man, first of all, also, that was 2001, all right? I was 10 years old.
All right.
What you want from me?
Which is what WWF and WWE actually kind of geared towards. Is that right, Ben? All right, so let's move on.
When I kidnap you, I'm going to make you watch nothing but Saturday Main Event and Thursday Thunders for 2 years straight. You're going to have toothpicks in your eyes, keeping them open, and you're just going to watch every Thursday, every Lash LaRue match, every Silver King match. You're watching them all.
Oh, God.
At least throw some Sunday Night Heats in there so I can get a breather.
No WWEs at all.
You know what? Screw it. Throw in some AWA too, buddy. And I'm talking about Showboat.
Some old ECW matches.
And I'm talking about Showboat AWA, if you know what I mean.
Wait, did you say ECW?
Yes, moron.
Oh, then we're good because I'm from Philly right here. We're good. We got it. ECW, I'm back.
Yeah. Wait to see the matches that I pick for you.
They're not going to...
I'll watch them all again.
They're not going to be good, Fame. Just trust me. Not all those matches were Class A.
They'll make your hair stand up.
Every Friday, man, I was on Channel 48, man. Little small TV.
I got that, Fame. Okay, Fame. Make your hair... your stupid haircut. Anyway, all right, so now we're going to jump into our number 2, which was Ric Flair, and I'm winking at OK Fame. Ric Flair versus Sting, Clash of Champions, Bin Hamin.
Yeah, Clash of Champions, it's on the Flair DVD, I believe, the best of, the triple. That's a legendary one. It's just a small showing of what these guys did for 5-10 years on the road together at every house show. A good one. I don't know if I put it on here because I know the rest of the list and I like the other match. But I think we could have had something with Vader in here. Vader did a lot of work for him. Lex Luger and him had quite a storied rivalry. 4 Horsemen beat him down. That's putting heat on your heels to make your baby off your heel. 4 against 1. A lot of story there. So I know everybody had weighed in here, but this match, it could be in any top 5, of course, but it's just the classic Stinger Flair.
All right, I'm going to basically mirror what Bin Hamin was saying, so I'm going to move on to Fame Black and then OK Fabe real quickly.
I watched this on the Flair DVD, and I mean, it's not much to be said about this match hasn't already been said. Yeah, they're like 2 of the best to do it.
All right, very cool. OK Fabe.
Pretty much to mirror basically what everyone says. They win an hour draw. It was the first show that they did to compete against WrestleMania 4 and really truly put on the great talent of the NWA at the time. So what better way than to put 2 of the best at that time in an hour draw? You don't really see that too often. So if anybody gets the chance to go back and watch that, highly recommended to show what these 2 could really do. Even though I knew the outcome, even though I knew it was going to happen, still put me on the edge of my seats. One of my favorite matches. All
right. We don't have the whole WZ Daily drum roll thing. I could probably add it in, but it's more editing for me, so I'm just going to go. Ladies and gentlemen, our number 1. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, our number 1 pick Big Slam Nation picks the #1 Sting moment, and that is 1990. The title win for Sting, the very first title win versus Ric Flair. I'm going to comment on this really quickly. I was a huge fan of Sting when I was a kid. I was. Didn't think he was the best in the ring. I was a fan, more of a fan of his character, if that makes any sense, guys, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is that Ric Flair was a huge heel at the moment, at that time, and Sting had tried multiple times to win that title. He had gone against the Four Horsemen. It was 4 against 1 pretty much for almost a year, and Sting finally won the WCW, or was it the NWA title? It was the NWA title, if I'm correct, right?
I think it was the NWA still at that time.
I think it was still the NWA title on WCW television. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Sting winning his first World Heavyweight title with WCW/NWA. Sting becoming the champion. Finally defeating the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Bin Hamin, your opinion?
Yeah, this was probably my #1 too. I like the legends that were in there. Junkyard Dog with a big gut. That always made me happy every time I see that footage. Yeah, so, a good moment. I'm opposite. I was a heels guy and a mid-card guy, so it's not for me to rag on Sting or take anything away from him. He was excitement. His legacy cemented. There's nothing that I could say or do to do any damage to that or make any impact on that, so I'm not even going to try. I did like the Crow switch, even though, again, it's taken from something else. It gave Brandon Lee a little more legacy, and I'm a big Bruce Lee guy, so be water, my friend, and enjoy your Hall of Fame ceremony.
Bin Hamin, I know you just followed me on Instagram. About a week ago, I want you to go back a couple of posts. I actually put up a snippet of that Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is actually one of my very, very absolute favorite all-time not only martial artists, so on and so forth, because I'm a big fan of the martial arts, MMA, so on and so forth, but I just outside the box thinkers. If you guys haven't read any of Bruce Lee's books, Jeet Kune Do, if you guys don't know anything about it, please do your research. But he speaks about you must be like water. Water can take the form of a teapot. Water,
the formless form.
Right, it's just amazing. I don't know why I'm going on a Bruce Lee tangent, but you mentioned him, and he's literally one of my favorite people in the history of this world. But we're gonna have to move on. We can talk off the air about that, Ben. We have a lot in common, buddy, except for the beard. So, okay,
you should grow one,
dude. If I grow one, then my woman would just not like. She'd be right here, like grabbing onto me. I mean, fear the beard, dude. Anyway, okay, Fabe, 1990, title win versus Ric Flair, his first world title reign.
He was made. This match made him, which was interesting because if you really look back at the history of WCW, not too many guys were quote unquote made as far as original talent. I'm using that with air quotes, but he was made. He was hugely popular even after that match that we were talking about from 1990, Clash of Champions. And it was just one of those, like, really, like those feel-good moments in wrestling where the babyface finally conquers and triumphs and he finally gets it. It was a huge, massive payoffs. Like with the legends around the ring, it was just like that, like, finally feel-good, like, wow, yeah, he finally did. Like the Rocky moment, I guess, is what I'm looking for here. So,
Philadelphia.
Yeah, you can do that.
So that's pretty much what it was. I mean, how could you not have this on your list when he finally, conquered the evil Ric Flair and finally won the world title? One of those great feel-good moments in wrestling history for sure.
Fame Black.
What was this? 1990 now, you said?
Yes, sir. His first title win.
All right, let's see. I was less than one, and so I didn't get any of the big feel about it. When I did go back and watch it, it's like, oh, it's a good match.
He pissed his pants after he saw it.
Literally.
There's a lot of things he pissed his pants about, so, I mean.
Right, it wasn't special back then, but it was just like, I'm watching the match, I'm like, man, this is a good match. Oh, Sting won. Well, I'm sure y'all were like, oh, Sting won, oh my God. Sting won. Sorry, I mean, it's a good match and everything.
Really, that's all we're getting from you.
I'm sorry, I wasn't invested in the story, and when I saw it, I wasn't invested in Sting at all.
You are the epitome of a young boy here at Big Slam Nation, my friend.
I'm the youngest one here.
I still love you, though. I mean, I think you're amazing.
I am amazing.
All right. Enough of the Nature Boy crap. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Shit all over your gimmick.
Wow.
All over your gimmick.
Wow. Yeah. Let's. No, I have no gimmick, my friend. My gimmick is me, and who I am is Big Ray. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. Oh, before we go, really quickly, Fame Black.
Yeah.
Pick one guy to be in the Hall of Fame this year.
I actually picked the tag team, New Age Outlaws.
Ooh, okay, Fabe. If you could pick one guy to be in the Hall of Fame this year, who would it be?
So I threw a curveball out there, and I said, okay, for the celebrity, why don't we put Ted Turner in there?
Lemmy.
Ted Turner?
Ted Turner.
Wow.
Would that ever happen?
You never know.
Hey,
Wrestling.
Bischoff showed up on Raw.
Okay, Bin Hamin. If you had one choice, one person to put in the Hall of Fame this year, who would it be?
Paul Heyman.
That's freaking brilliant.
I worship the ground that Heyman walks on.
I'm gonna. Then that ground is gonna be cracked because he's quite a heavy guy. It's like
Don't care.
Nah, I know. I
I'd
hear
like
you.
to see a really sincere, out-of-character speech from Brock Lesnar that really wows everyone and that they never thought he had in him. That would be an amazing thing.
That would be pretty cool.
Let's not start telling fairy tales.
I know, that's my own dream, Bo.
Listen, guys, my guy, and I've been a huge fan of him. This guy was the 3-time All Japan Grand Champion. This guy won the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship multiple times. The guy was a legend in WWE. The guy was the NWA WCW World Heavyweight Champion multiple times. I'm talking about the original beast, the Baby Bull. I'm talking about Big Van Vader. I think it's well overdue. I think Vader time should be this year, guys. Listen, we want to hear from you guys here at OneWrestling.com, YouTube/OneWrestling Video. Please, guys, leave your opinions here. Now, guys, listen, this is the end of the show. Now, I really wanted you guys to, Bin Hamin, why don't you, Nick Hausman always wants you to plug your pontifications, all the other cool stuff. I don't usually say that. I just say, dude, plug your Twitter. Tell us where to find you, and where can we buy your merchandise, homie?
Yeah, thanks for the Pro Wrestling Tees plugs with the new Ben Lebowski shirt. I got the redacted Hamin shirt on here, but I got a bunch on there, so please hop on over to Pro Wrestling Tees at Ben Hamin or / Ben Hamin on there, and if you can help support, I always really appreciate that. If you can't that way, please follow me at Ben_Hamin on Twitter. I'm usually not this guy. I'm usually this guy right here, this guy, so know that's who you're talking to if you get a little sass back. But yeah, my YouTube channel, you can just check out Bin Hamin. It's got over 500 videos on there from 2CW, OVW stuff that I directed, wrote, produced, Damian Sandow, original Ryback footage, Brad Maddox when he was Beef Wellington. So tons on there, and Bin Hamin stand-up, hip-hop video cameo appearances. And I'm doing a show on February 6th as Hamin, doing stand-up opening for Hacksaw in Rome, New York, and maybe a couple other select dates. But if you can check that out, that would be awesome as well. And new website coming, new DVDs coming, and new Pro Wrestling Tees stuff coming. So always check me out and be interactive. WC Daily, Hamin's Hardcore Happy Hour is my podcast over there. I just wrapped season 1. Hopefully get some audio issues fixed, but there's some great content from Ed Ferrara, Mike Hayes, Tough Enough, Big Sal Graziano, ECW. Trying to think who else. All my TNA stuff there. The end of 2CW where I got with Sammy Callahan, Dalton Castle. Tons of people, guys, from every Fed. So I'm trying to give you guys the exclusive from backstage on how I feel about people out of character, because Bin Hamin doesn't afford me that luxury to talk very nice to people I respect. But I don't respect any of you infidels over at the PW Hustle. Not you, Bill Apter. I'm going to put you in the ground, old man, and take over your whole system. There's no one. One by one, I'll pick off your whole staff. YOLO.
Okay.
Man, my second week at One Wrestling, I'm already threatened. I've made it.
I'm a little uncomfortable with this whole situation, but listen, Ben.
I haven't heard back from the professor.
Ben, I know. Have you been trying to text this guy?
I actually called him on the phone.
I broke his legs.
What'd you say, Fame?
I said I actually called him on the phone.
And he's not picking up.
Matter of fact, it was just laughter as his voicemail. It sounded kind of.
Is that his phone?
Can I have it when you're done? I'm just. Oh.
You know what? Enough. Listen, Bin Hamin, seriously, all jokes aside, I'm talking to Ben Dewar right now.
Yeah, man.
My man, thank you so much for coming on, dude. You are absolutely amazing. I love, we got to do the WZ Daily a couple more times. I've been telling Nick Hausman, I have a hell of a lot of fun with you guys. Me and you have to talk, maybe not tonight, but I want to talk to you down the road because I have a lot of great ideas, guys. Guys, the partnership between OneWrestling.com, WZ Daily is growing every single day. Again, Bin Hamin's Hardcore Happy Hour. Subscribe to WZ Daily. You can find it on Mixlr. Go to WrestleZone.com. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com. Support indie wrestling. Before, when we do our pay-per-view preview shows, we would give, t-shirts. We would give prizes to you know what? We decided, instead of supporting WWE, which we love WWE, we decided you can pick any shirt from ProWrestlingTees.com if you pick every single match right at every single pay-per-view, because we want to promote, we want to help, we want to support our indie talent. You guys know, look, my dad was a pro wrestler and an indie talent here in New York City, from New York down to Florida. This guy busted his hump to earn a paycheck for us guys, so we got to help these guys take care of their families. These guys give so much for us every single week, every single day. These guys give so much, so please give back. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com. They have some really, really cool designs, and that Ben Lebowski shirt is legitimately one of my very, very favorite things, guys. So thank you so much, Bin Hamin. Thank you so much for coming on last minute. Thank you, OK Fabe. Thank you, Fame Black. Fame Black, I am sure, he's a very good-looking young black male in Philadelphia. He is going to get laid tonight, ladies and gentlemen. OK Fabe is what? You're not going to get laid?
Probably not. I'm probably gonna go to bed.
Really?
I gotta work in the morning.
Oh,
it's
Thursday. Listen, Ben has I heard 315 wives. For a flat rate, I'm sure we couldn't do some sort of rental
you gotta
agreement.
get all the way up there. I'm in Philly. It's ridiculous.
Ben, I mean, are you able to?
Most definitely, multiple times.
Listen, Amazon
Air Force Base. It's no problem. I can be there in 20 minutes.
Amazon ships in 2 days. I mean, come on, anything's possible.
Take PayPal.
Drone Club.
Drone Club, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow us here at OneWrestling.com, YouTube.com/OneWrestlingVideo. You can follow me at Big Ray Show. Follow Fame Black at Fame Black. Follow OK Fabe at OK Fabe. Follow the Professor at PROFPW Hustle. Billy Ray Valentine at Billy Ray Hustle. And of course, I forgot, You Got the Show, Bill Schuyler at You Got the Show. A-Track Brown at Pharaoh Fancy. And of course, the legendary Bill Apter. Please follow him at Apter One Wrestling. You can follow all of us as one family here at Big Slam Nation, guys. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. Gosh, you can find me on Instagram. And do not forget, please, once again, follow our guest, Bin Hamin, Ya Allah Moran. You can follow him on Twitter at Bin_Hamin, and be careful, because if you follow him, he may, in fact, hack your system. Am I right, Ben?
Yes, y'all. You know I will. No fly list for you. Extra pat down at the TSA in the crotch. Very heavy in that area on you.
Wow, we're talking about crotches, ladies and gentlemen. We're Sunny when you need her. Ladies and gentlemen, I always say this at the end of every single video.
We'll just call her right after this.
Oh my God.
I'm following him right now.
You know what? I totally have my debit card ready. I would do this for a living, but if I can't, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. And in the words of the legendary Bill Apter himself, and do not forget to buy his book, Is Wrestling Fixed?
I didn't know it was broken.
I didn't know it was broken. Bin Hamin with your Coca-Cola. I'm sure you know what Bill Apter says, Bin Hamin, but we point at the camera. In the words of Bill Apter, we say, I'll see you at the matches. At the matches. Thank you, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Support your indie wrestling talent. Ya Allah Bin Hamin.
Thank you, PW Hustle. See you infidels soon while you're sleeping.
Big Slam Nation, baby.
Big Slam Nation.
Yeah.
Gonna watch me sleep.
Devil Clutch.